You've felt it. The sudden surge of desire that seems to come out of nowhere. A craving that overwhelms your senses. It's not just a simple urge. It's a deliberate spiritual attack designed to pull you off course. You are no ordinary person. You are marked, chosen for a purpose greater than you can imagine. And with that comes a unique kind of warfare. The enemy knows exactly what to target. It's not your weaknesses, not your flaws. It's your potential. The moment you begin walking in your purpose, seeking purity and growing in faith, hell notices. It isn't the temptations themselves that define you. It's how you respond. Each time you feel that pull, that fire, understand this. It's not about your body, but about your destiny. The enemy sees the light in you and he'll do whatever it takes to extinguish it. But let me remind you, you are not powerless. You are armed with authority. Temptation is not proof of failure. It's a challenge, a test of your resilience. The attacks come because you carry something the enemy fears, something that if left unchallenged will change everything. So when that wave of desire hits, know that it's not random. It's a spiritual strike aimed at derailing your divine power. If you're struggling with overwhelming desires and spiritual attacks, you need to take control now. Discover 7 biblical secrets to destroy lust before it destroys you. Click the link in the description to reclaim your power today. When you begin walking in purpose, when you set your heart on purity and faith, something remarkable happens. You become a target. The enemy does not waste his time with those already lost. He strikes at what he fears, what threatens to disrupt his darkness. It's no coincidence that the moment you step forward, striving for spiritual growth and clarity, is the moment temptations begin to intensify. You'll find that the closer you get to breakthrough, the stronger the attack. This isn't random. This is a war, and you've become a frontline soldier. The enemy doesn't attack what he already controls. He attacks what challenges him, what has the potential to pull people out of the shadows and into the light. That surge of desire, that wave of temptation, is a distraction designed to take your eyes off the divine purpose you're called to fulfill. It's not about your body, your momentary weakness. It's about your spirit, your destiny. When you begin to rise above the noise, to choose a path of purity and devotion, you present a direct challenge to the forces of darkness. Your clarity becomes a threat to everything they've built. You might ask yourself, why now? Why does the temptation feel so personal? Well, it is personal. The enemy sees something in you that even you may not fully grasp yet, the strength of your calling, and he knows that if he can contaminate your spirit, if he can cloud your mind with distractions and desires, your potential becomes compromised. You see, the enemy doesn't want to weaken you physically. He wants to weaken you spiritually. If he can cloud your vision with lust, or pull you back into old patterns of thinking, he can prevent you from walking in the fullness of your purpose. But here's the truth you must remember: your purity isn't your weakness. It's your weapon. Every time you choose to resist, every time you hold firm when the temptation comes, you strike a blow against the very darkness, trying to hold you back. The enemy sees your self-control as a threat. He knows that every victory you claim strengthens your spiritual resolve, sharpening your discernment, and brightening the light that you carry. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the greater the resistance. But this is not something to fear. It is a sign that you're on the right path. The battle rages because you're a threat, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Purity is not weakness. It is strength. In a world that often equates indulgence with freedom, it can be easy to mistake self-control for deprivation. But purity is not about denying yourself. It's about empowering yourself. Every choice you make to resist the pull of temptation sharpens your spirit and strengthens your connection to something higher. It's like a weapon in your spiritual arsenal, forged in the heat of battle and ready to defend what matters most, your destiny. The truth is, every time you choose purity, you're not just saying no to a fleeting desire. You're saying yes to something far more powerful, a greater sense of purpose. The enemy knows this. He understands that when you walk in purity, you're walking in authority. It's not just about avoiding sin. It's about guarding your soul from distractions that try to derail you from your path. Purity gives you clarity of mind and focus of heart. It sharpens your discernment, enabling you to see the world through spiritual eyes. Temptations will come, of course. They always do. But the enemy's goal isn't just to tempt you. It's to blind you. He wants to cloud your vision to make you forget what you're truly here for. But when you stand firm in your purity, you protect yourself from that fog. You keep your eyes fixed on your calling, And with every choice you make to stay true to your purpose, your spirit grows stronger, your fire burns brighter, and the light you carry becomes a force to be reckoned with. Purity is also not about suppressing your desires. It's about transforming them. Every desire you feel is a force, and when you choose to channel that force towards something higher, toward your purpose, it becomes fuel for your spiritual journey. You turn what the enemy meant for your destruction into a source of power. Instead of surrendering to lust, you use that same energy to fuel your passion for something eternal, your relationship with God, your growth in faith, and your journey toward your true destiny. In the end, purity isn't just a defense against temptation. It's a proactive, deliberate choice to walk in the fullness of your power. It's the shield that guards your spirit and the sword that defends your soul. And when you walk in purity, you become a force of light, ready to face anything the darkness throws your way. Every moment of resistance adds strength to your soul, and every victory is a declaration of the power that resides within you. When temptation strikes, it often feels like a test of character, a moment when you wonder if you'll stand strong or falter. But what if I told you that this very temptation, the pull that seems to be trying to drag you down, is actually a powerful indicator of your calling? It's not a sign of weakness, but rather a reminder of the strength you carry within. The very fact that you're being tempted is evidence that something significant is happening in your life, something the enemy sees and fears. You see, temptation isn't random. It's a calculated attack, a sign that your purpose is coming to the forefront. The enemy doesn't waste time on what is already his. He doesn't bother with people who are not a threat to his darkness. But you are different. You carry a light that threatens everything he represents. The closer you get to fulfilling your purpose, the stronger the pull of temptation becomes. It's in those moments when you feel the most pressure, when the temptation feels almost irresistible, that you are on the edge of something monumental. The enemy wants to distract you, derail you, and rob you of your focus, because he knows that if you stand firm, your breakthrough will come. The more you grow in purpose, the greater the temptation. It's almost as if the forces of darkness are watching, waiting, hoping you'll give in to a fleeting moment of weakness. But here's the truth. Every time you resist, every time you make the choice to stay pure, to rise above the lure of immediate satisfaction, your spirit becomes stronger. You sharpen your discernment, and your light grows brighter. This is the true test. Not how you fall, but how you rise after the attack. Each victory you gain through resisting temptation is a direct reflection of your calling, the higher purpose that you're destined for. Remember, the enemy is attacking your destiny, not just your body or your mind. He knows that if he can get you to surrender to temptation, he can cloud your vision, distract you from your true path. But by choosing to stand firm, you declare that your purpose is greater than the momentary desire. And in doing so, you not only strengthen your resolve, but you also send a message to the forces of darkness. You are not easily swayed. Your purpose is clear, and you are committed to walking it out, no matter the cost. Purity is a treasure, something so precious that it deserves to be guarded with vigilance. It's not just about keeping your actions in check. It's about protecting the very essence of who you are. In a world where distractions pull at every corner, your purity becomes a beacon, a symbol of the strength within. But it's more than a virtue. It's a weapon. It's your shield, guarding your spirit from forces that seek to lead you astray. Every moment of temptation is a test, an invitation to choose your purpose over momentary pleasure. It's in these quiet battles when no one else is watching that your spirit grows stronger. The choices you make when temptation knocks at your door define not just your day, but your destiny. Every time you resist, you fortify your inner resolve, and your purpose becomes clearer. It's easy to think of purity as a burden, but the truth is, it's a divine gift that protects your future. Guarding your purity doesn't mean you're closing yourself off from the world. It means you're protecting your peace. You are cultivating a life that's not swayed by fleeting desires or the pressure to conform. Every time you turn away from temptation, you're not just saying no to something, you're saying yes to your calling, to the divine purpose that's been set before you. And let's be clear, purity isn't about denying yourself joy or satisfaction. It's about choosing a higher joy, a more lasting fulfillment. It's about knowing that the peace you'll gain from making the right choice is worth more than any temporary thrill. When you guard your purity like a crown, you're not just protecting your soul, you're preparing for a greater purpose. Every moment you choose self-control over compromise, you align yourself with something much greater than the present moment. You're aligning with destiny. The world will throw many distractions your way, but remember this, your purity is not just a shield, it's the light that will guide you to the life you're meant to live. There are moments when temptation feels overwhelming, a relentless force tugging at your mind and spirit. In those times, it's easy to believe that you are somehow weak or that you've failed. But this is precisely where your power begins. The very fact that you feel this struggle means you are on the verge of something great. Temptation is not a sign of defeat. It's the proving ground of your strength, a test of your commitment to rise above. When that pull comes, it is not just about saying no to something that feels good in the moment. It's about understanding that there is a much higher calling on your life. Every temptation you face is an invitation to elevate your soul, to strengthen your resolve, and to move closer to the purpose you were made for. These moments of trial are not obstacles to your growth. They are opportunities for transformation. The battle isn't won through sheer willpower alone. It is won through a deeper understanding of who you are and why you resist. Resistance isn't about denial. It's about redirecting that energy towards something greater, something eternal. Every time you choose to rise above, you are making a statement, not just to the world, but to your very soul, that you are guided by purpose, not by fleeting impulses. Your ability to turn away from temptation is the ultimate declaration of freedom. What happens when you choose to rise above is profound. You begin to see clarity where confusion once reigned, peace where chaos tried to settle. The struggle may never fully disappear, but with each victory you become more attuned to the power within you. And as you stand firm, you realize that every battle fought against temptation is not just for your own soul. It has ripple effects, touching the lives of those around you. Your victory becomes a light for others to follow, a reminder that no matter the temptation, there is always a higher way. Are you ready to break free from the grip of lust? Unlock the 7 biblical secrets to destroy lust in this powerful ebook. Discover the tools to reclaim your purity and purpose. Grab your copy now through the link in the description and pinned comment. Desire is a powerful force. It often feels like an uncontrollable urge, a force that consumes you when it takes hold. Yet what if I told you that mastering desire isn't about suppressing it, but rather about transforming it? The desires you feel are not merely impulses, they are the raw materials of your destiny. They have the potential to propel you toward your purpose or lead you astray. The key lies in how you choose to engage with them. Imagine this. Every desire you experience, whether it's for pleasure, comfort, or achievement, is an opportunity to either reinforce your true path or deviate from it. Temptation does not arise randomly. It's a challenge, a test of your focus and your commitment to your calling. It's a reminder that you are meant for something greater than momentary satisfaction. When you learn to redirect those desires, you redirect your destiny. When you give in to fleeting urges, you hand over your power. You trade your peace for a temporary high. But when you refuse to be ruled by those impulses, something extraordinary happens. You awaken a strength within you. You harness that energy and turn it into fuel for your purpose. Each time you say no to the momentary, you are saying yes to the eternal. Every time you resist temptation, you sharpen your spirit, refine your focus, and deepen your connection to your true purpose. It's not about denying yourself, it's about taking control. You can transform desire into a force that propels you forward. The strength to resist temptation isn't found in sheer willpower alone, but in a deeper understanding of who you are and what you're meant to achieve. Your desires, when mastered, become the stepping stones toward the life you're meant to live. In the end, mastering your desire is not just about making right choices in the moment. It's about shaping your destiny, one decision at a time. Pleasure in its many forms is a fleeting experience, an instant gratification that fades as quickly as it arrives. The world often places such value on these temporary satisfactions, but what happens when we realize that life holds a deeper, more profound calling than merely seeking what feels good in the moment? The truth is, our true purpose is far beyond the pursuit of pleasure. It's something that lasts, something that elevates us, something that aligns us with a higher calling. When we begin to walk in purpose, we notice a shift. Pleasure, once sought after to fill a void, loses its appeal. It doesn't matter how satisfying a fleeting indulgence might be. It cannot compare to the fulfillment that comes from living with intention. You were not created to simply chase moments of joy that pass like a shadow. You were designed for greatness, for something much grander than a temporary high. The problem with pleasure is that it often distracts us from the very thing we're meant to accomplish. It pulls our focus inward, making us look at ourselves rather than outward toward the world we can change. True purpose isn't about personal satisfaction. It's about what we contribute, what we build, and the lives we impact. It's about being part of something much larger than ourselves. When we focus on that higher calling, pleasure becomes second, not because we forsake joy, but because we realize it is found in something deeper, more meaningful. Every moment of self-control, every moment of resisting the easy and the immediate, is a step toward aligning with our destiny. The beauty of purpose is that it brings a lasting peace, a satisfaction that no pleasure can replicate. When we align with our true purpose, we realize that life isn't about indulgence. It's about what we become in the pursuit of something greater than ourselves. The purpose we serve is eternal, and it transcends all the temporary delights this world has to offer. Desire in its rawest form can often feel like a force beyond our control. It pulls, it tugs, demanding our attention and our energy. But what if this surge of feeling could be What if the very desires that threaten to overwhelm us could become a source of power, fueling our spiritual journey? The key is not to fight desire with resistance, but to channel it. Imagine turning that intense longing into a tool for your growth, rather than letting it enslave you. It's not about denial or repression, but about awareness. Recognize that every desire carries potential energy, energy that can either bind you or empower you. The transformation begins the moment you decide to redirect that force into something higher. When you feel the urge rise, don't be quick to condemn yourself or give in. Instead, pause and observe. What is this desire asking of you? More often than not, it's calling for something deeper, a longing for connection, purpose, or meaning. When you shift your focus from the temporary satisfaction to the eternal, that same desire begins to fuel your passion for spiritual growth. Turning desire into spiritual strength requires discipline. It's not about suppressing your humanity, but rather elevating your spirit. The more you practice this shift, the stronger your soul becomes. Each moment of resistance, each time you choose to redirect your energy, strengthens your spirit and clarifies your path. In these moments, you're not denying yourself, you're embracing your true power. The process is gradual but profound. As you refine your focus and learn to turn earthly desires into divine intentions, you begin to experience a transformation. Your desires no longer control you. You control them. What once seemed like a distraction becomes a reminder of the greater purpose at work in your life. And with each victory, you grow more attuned to the spiritual strength that was always within you, waiting to be awakened. Temptation is often viewed as a flaw or a weakness. But what if it's actually a sign of something far greater? What if every time you're tempted, it's not proof of your failure, but evidence of your purpose? You see, the enemy doesn't waste time on what he already controls. He comes after what threatens him. And that's you, the one with the divine calling. The strength of your destiny is what stirs up the resistance. When temptation arises, it's a mark of your potential, not a reflection of your character's flaws. The stronger your purpose, the greater the pull to distract you. It's no coincidence that the most intense battles often occur right before breakthroughs. That surge of desire that threatens to overtake you. It's not just an impulse, it's a direct attack on your calling, your very destiny. The enemy knows that if he can bind your spirit with momentary pleasures, he can blur your clarity and mute your purpose. Each temptation you face, whether it's a craving for instant gratification or a moment of weakness, is a direct confrontation with the power you hold. The greater the resistance, the greater your impact. Think about it. What would the enemy need to fight against if your life didn't carry a weight of significance? Temptation doesn't aim at the unthreatening. It targets what is most precious, the light within you. And when you stand firm, when you choose purpose over pleasure, you begin to see that every temptation, every trial is a part of the refining process. The struggle isn't about defeating desire for the sake of moral superiority. It's about sharpening your focus and walking ever closer to your divine calling. You are not being tempted because you are weak, but because you are a force of potential that the enemy fears. Every victory you gain over temptation amplifies your power and sharpens your spirit. So the next time temptation comes knocking, remember, it's not a sign to give in. It's a sign that you're on the verge of something powerful. It's your purpose calling you forward. Purity is not merely an act of restraint. It is the very groundwork for something greater than we can fully grasp in the moment. It's easy to see purity as a form of deprivation, something that asks us to give up our desires for the sake of discipline. But what if purity is less about sacrifice and more about preparation? A farmer does not withhold water from his crops to punish them. He does it so they can grow stronger and bear fruit in their time. In the same way, purity isn't about denying ourselves pleasure. It's about positioning ourselves for a greater calling. Every time you resist temptation, you are not just rejecting something. You are investing in your future. It's not just about saying no to an immediate craving, but saying yes to a higher purpose that is being cultivated within you. The decisions you make in the quiet moments when no one is watching are the seeds of your future greatness. You're being refined, strengthened, and made ready for something bigger. And though the process may be uncomfortable, it's a necessary one if you're going to step into the destiny that awaits. We often fail to recognize the power of purity in a world that glorifies instant gratification. But there's a deep wisdom in choosing to wait, to resist, and to stay focused. It's in those moments of struggle that your character is shaped, your resolve is tested, and your faith deepens. You begin to realize that the temporary sacrifices you make today are molding you into someone capable of handling the weight of greater responsibilities tomorrow. Purity is preparation for greatness, not because greatness is owed to you, but because the strength you gain through purity gives you the ability to walk with authority in the future you're destined for. It's a spiritual discipline that sharpens your soul, focuses your mind, and aligns your heart with divine purpose. When you look back, you'll realize that purity wasn't the obstacle. It was the key to unlocking everything you were meant to be. Temptation isn't the weakness it often appears to be. In fact, it's one of the most profound tools of spiritual transformation, if you know how to navigate it. Every moment of temptation presents a choice, and with that choice, you have the power to reshape your destiny. The allure of immediate satisfaction is tempting, but it's not the desire itself that defines you. It's your response to it. When temptation strikes, it can feel overwhelming, almost as though it has the power to consume you. But that feeling is precisely the point where your strength can emerge. In these moments, you are given an opportunity to rise above the impulses of the flesh and assert dominion over them. By doing so, you don't just resist temptation, you transform it into a stepping stone on your path to greater spiritual clarity and purpose. Resisting temptation is not about suppressing your desires or denying your humanity. It's about redirecting that energy towards something higher. When you choose to turn away from temptation and focus instead on prayer or a greater purpose, you are not just holding back from something, you are fueling your spirit with divine energy. Each time you resist, you grow spiritually stronger, clearer in your discernment, and more aligned with your true calling. It's easy to feel as though you're losing when temptation comes knocking, but the truth is you're winning a deeper battle every time you stand. The resistance you feel is the fire refining you, turning what was meant to weaken you into something that sharpens your resolve. Temptation reveals where your weaknesses lie, but it also shows you where your greatest potential for growth resides. Every time you overcome, you reclaim more of your divine purpose. Temptation is not proof of failure, but evidence of how deeply your calling is being tested. And with each victory, you emerge more focused, more empowered, and more capable of fulfilling your mission. You are not only walking through the battle, you are evolving into the person you were always meant to be. Every moment of temptation is a divine opportunity, a chance to rise above the flesh and align with your true purpose. Remember, your resistance isn't about denial, it's about growth. Every time you stand firm, you strengthen your spirit and fortify your destiny. These battles are not simply challenges, they are the very stepping stones to your higher calling. You are not defined by the temptation but by how you respond to it. And with each victory, you become more equipped to fulfill your divine purpose. If you've been struggling with lust, or any temptation that tries to rob you of your peace and purpose, I want to offer you a tool to help you take your next step. My ebook, 7 Biblical Secrets to Destroy Lust Before It Destroys You, is designed to empower you with practical, faith-driven strategies that will not only help you resist temptation, but transform it into spiritual growth. Don't let lust or any form of distraction derail you from your calling. Click the link in the video description to grab your copy of the ebook now. Begin your journey to freedom today, and let these biblical secrets be the weapon that strengthens your spirit, focuses your mind, and fuels your destiny. You were chosen for more. Now it's time to step into that purpose.